Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. With the new He-Man Netflix series, I wanted to go back and look at some of my He-Man stuff because I got a bit excited about the potential for a new show. And I didn't have a YouTube channel when these books came out. I think most of them came out around 2015. This was April 2015. The mini comics one I did a video for was November 2015. And I got very excited when they came out, and I ran out and bought them all. It's something I just sort of wanted my whole life, was some real quality, extensive He-Man books, and they released like 5 of them at the same time. And I just want to have a look through this. This is The Art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Now, the only thing I don't like about the comics, about these books, is all the inside covers have this really weird blue artwork. I wish they'd just pick a big cinematic image, painted image or something of all the toys or something, and just really use the 2 pages. But instead they just do this blue thing, which I hate. But that's the only thing about the whole series of books that I don't like. So this one, it's just the art. So it goes through the design, the creation, it goes right back through to the original idea. Now, I'm hoping that you're looking at this because you haven't got this volume and you're curious about it, or you haven't been able to find your own copy and you just want to see what's inside. Because that's what I love about overview videos and review videos and unboxings, is seeing stuff I don't have. And sometimes seeing something I just love, I just want to see someone else's opinion. But hopefully this is interesting to you. But I could look at this all day and I could talk about them all day. So He-Man started off as being like a Conan, and then like a rip-off of Conan, and they had a lot of ideas. They knew that there was a market, untapped market for boys, and they came up with He-Man. And like any design, there's a lot of variations, and there's quite a bit of information here. It's not just images, it's quite a bit of text. It's very funny to see some of the variations, some of the ideas, the development. And I mean, I think it's equally, it looks at everything. It looks at the art of the comics, the art of the series, and the design of the toys. Because the toys came first, the comics came second, and the TV series came third, I believe. They thought that the comics would, and the books would, enhance and create a universe to extend the play and the playability for the boys. So they worked on the comic, and then the TV series came out, and then they sort of refined that and expanded on it and created the TV universe, and then altered the comics to match that, and that sort of became the main sort of canon. But I really wish they had just printed out all of the artwork separately, or maybe just 4 to a page. It's a little bit too... I want to see these, because I've seen all these small. We've seen them a million times over the years, small. They're about the same size. That was the only disappointing thing, I think, was I actually wanted to see all of the pictures for all the characters that were done, and see them big enough to really appreciate them. Like the box art, I wanted a bit more of the box art, because that's the art I was more familiar with, less so the design or the books and stuff, because I didn't see all the books when I was a kid. But I did see all the toys. Even if I didn't buy them all and didn't get to own them all, I did look at them all on the shelves. There's a lot of very bizarre variations and designs and things they came up with that never happened. I forgot actually how crazy some of those designs were. And some of them just vary. And oh, wow, that's the original artwork. See, something like this should have had the 2 pages here. I mean, it gets 2 pages here, but some of the bigger, really interesting pieces of art don't get, they just get a little section. I think they could have used the inside pages a bit better. I always feel like that with books, that they don't... Sometimes the best pictures are just stacked on a page with 4 or 5 others, and other ones that are not that interesting get a whole spread. Whether that's just my personal taste of what I think is important, or whether they're just not paying attention to some of the images. There's another thing, the box art. I want to see all of it. I didn't just want an overview. I wanted to see everything. And I want to see all the box art in its entirety, all getting its own like page or something. Maybe they'll do an actual straight box art edition later where you'll see the original art and then the actual final packaged art, and it'll be its own, because you could have a whole volume just on that. And like I said, they look at everything. They look at the mini comics, the development of that. Even though that gets its own book, they don't ignore it, which is good. And like I said before, the art holds up, even full size at this size, because this book is about twice the size again. Just like the mini comics were half the size of this book. This book's twice the size of the mini comics edition. So, and like I said, the art holds up. It looks beautiful, most of it. Then we go into filmation, and that's interesting as well. You get to see in detail a lot of the development, the sketches. And when I loved He-Man, there was so little, like before the internet, there was so little material, and you just spent so much time longing. I think part of the reason why some of those old franchises are so beloved is because you spent so much time wishing and longing for more. You're always left in a state of wanting more, whereas now kids, they have everything available. They have all the material, all the source material, all the development, all the merchandising, publicity, all that available to them, and they're just spoiled. I had to wait decades for this. It means more to me. It means more to the fans when you have to wait 20 years for a book. Oh, that's to protect the cell, because there are little prizes in here. Little things hidden, like a little He-Man Skeletor cell. Get a few little things like that hidden throughout all of them. And just to see stills from the film, from the show, and backgrounds. I mean, how many times have we seen them? But to see them like this on a full page, it's gorgeous. But I do think they could have played with that a little bit more. Having some of the bigger artwork spread over bigger pages instead of being smaller images. Like the layout, I wouldn't have done some of these the same as they've done. I don't know, that's just probably me being picky, and yeah, I'm just waffling on while I'm looking through these, but I guess you can always just ignore me and actually look at the images. I think I'm just going to go through the whole thing. Because if you haven't seen this, you don't have your own copy, you're going to be like, I would be. Looking at it like, wow, oh, okay, God, I want this so I can have, I want to see that. The detail on that is beautiful. A lot of this art, I mean, it is art. I mean, it may just be done for toy companies and toy boxes, but it's still art. And I don't think it gets the respect that it deserves. And some of it's crap, but see, now that I would have liked to have seen here. Oh, I forgot I had that. That was a poster that came out, a little booklet that folds up, and it fit. It's the same size as the mini comics, which was basically all, it's like a poster of all the figures, and I bought that off some guy, and it fit in there, so that's where it lives. I forgot it was in there. But yeah, like that, it's almost 2 pages, but that deserved 2 pages. All of these deserve 2 pages, and just put the text on the back or fit it on the side if they're not quite square. You could have had that. They waste a bit too much time, space, the framing. Just blow the picture out right to the end. We want to see it as big as possible. Then we go into the actual comics, because they did a series of comics. It was adapting the movie as well as newspaper comics, and we have the storybooks. Some of them are books and tapes. My God, I've got that. Where is that? There we go. So these, may as well have a look at that. They were like a proper storybook size, as well as, of course, we had Ladybird ones, which I didn't mention before. I wish they had been reprinted in the mini comics collection as well, but I really want another collection of all the miscellaneous odd stuff. Just throw it all together. I want to see it all. So that gives you an idea of the reprinting versus the actual image. It's pretty good. And oh God, I had some of these. I got that one. See, they just show you part of the image. I want to see the whole image, bitch. Where is my... Here, I should have had all this pulled out. Like, I've got a folio of just stuff, like the covers. I've basically skinned the DVD packages and kept all the art so I can look at it. But I don't have the space to actually keep them. And like, see, that's the full cover. But that's all they show you. I'm like, bitch, you could have had like 4 of these covers on the inside instead of this blue bullshit. So yeah, I guess I'm one of those collectors who can find... yes, you appreciate it and you love it, but you still are like thinking you could do better. But yeah, I would have liked all the covers. Just have them all. Complete. I'm a completionist and I want to see them all. They don't all have to be full size, but at least show all the art, not just a little square of it. Like that could have been 2 pages. Look at it. Look at the detail. But maybe they'll do that later, like this. And maybe they hold on to some of that stuff so they can just change the format later and have another edition using most of the same art anyway. But they go into the He-Man movie, which I wish I'd seen. I saw it later on video. I never got to appreciate it on the big screen. I saw it once in a movie house in Melbourne, the Astor Theatre. They showed it on Halloween, which made it really hard to do my normal Halloween marathon because I had to go see that. But it was pretty awesome. I love the film. I think it's great. I think it doesn't get the respect it deserves. They did sell out a bit by going to Earth, but that was very entertaining, seeing the Eternians interacting with humans. It was very good. I think it worked just as well as Star Trek 4 did. They did that for artistic reasons. He-Man did it for budget reasons because they only spent about 10 minutes in Eternia and only needed 1 set. But if that had done well, they would have made a sequel and they would have spent more time on Eternia, I think was the plan. Which wasn't a stupid plan. They were very... They tried. Now we get more concept art, but we get to the He-Man, New Adventures of He-Man, which, you know, isn't iconic and didn't get the love that the original He-Man did. And later we, of course, got the 2002 series, which was gorgeous. The artwork was great. The animation was great. We all wish they'd done She-Ra. They stopped the season before she was going to appear. Why they stopped, I don't know. A lot of these people, they just want enough... The companies just want enough episodes to sell the toys, and once that's out, they don't actually care about the story or the fans, or they'll build up a fan base to sell some toys and then abandon it. But see, that could have been a whole double-page spread. So could that. So I really, I guess they couldn't do that with everything. But I really want another pure art book which just has the images full page or double page or split into 4s or whatever, so you can see everything. And hopefully something like that still happens, because I think these did well. They covered everything, so the only thing left would be that. And I think this is the toys, or is this just a general chapter looking at... Yeah, see? Again, it's great to have all the toys, but I want to see them up close. I want to see detail. I know they can't give every character a page, but at least 4 to a page, or maybe 8 or something, or 6 instead of 20. And that's... God, that's the original sticker that was on the bottom of Castle Grayskull. Little things like that. It's great. Oh, God, it's just great to be able to just get lost in all this stuff and look at it all, and just things that you remember, seeing it again and having it all expanded. And it's kind of great in a way to be a collector and have all the things that you loved as a kid be valued as a collectible and merchandised, and you get all this stuff later, because some of this you wished you had as a kid and you could never find it. Didn't exist. And now it does for the adult collector, because now we have money and we can buy it instead of begging our parents to, although that worked for most of us. Most people got... some of my friends had the biggest collection of He-Man figures, most of which I bought off them later. I didn't have a lot. I mean, I had a fair amount of brothers and sisters. They bought me stuff, but I didn't have everything, because I wasn't spoiled. We weren't rich. Yep. And it gets now into more the variations and where the series is going to go and just the oddities and a little bit of a look at the DC comics, which is interesting. I've got this volume, the first 6 I think I've got, but I haven't followed the series as they went on. But the artwork's beautiful. He-Man deserves expansion, deserves another series, a movie series. I mean, how this hasn't happened yet, how this is so difficult, aside from the budget, because they would have to obviously put a lot of budget into it. But it's different from in the 80s when they tried to do that movie. It's just different. But that's that volume. So I hope you got something out of that. I enjoyed looking at it. Again, I don't really need an excuse to go through this stuff. Every now and again I just get all He-Man crazy and look through it all. But I'm going to do the other ones, so hopefully if you watch them, you'll watch those and hopefully get something out of it.